The mid-19th century. Nagasaki, about 300 years after the introduction of Christianity. Christianity had previously flourished in Japan, but was believed to have disappeared completely after being strictly prohibited. Then Japan opened itself to commerce, and a new church was built on the foreign settlement in Nagasaki. This was Ouda Cathedral. On 17 March 1865, a certain incident occurred at this church. A dozen Japanese secretly visited this place and confessed to the missionaries. Our heart of all of us here doesn't differ at all from yours. The faith hadn't been lost. They were all hidden Christians who had practiced their beliefs by themselves for over 2 centuries. How had these hidden Christians maintained their faith for so long without the support of missionaries when the religion had been prohibited? There are still sites in the Nagasaki region that tell the story of how hidden Christians nurtured and protected their traditions to be passed on. The Nagasaki region is located in the northwest of Kyushu in western Japan. The hidden Christian sites in the Nagasaki region consist of 12 sites that are spread throughout present-day Nagasaki and Kumamoto prefectures. These include the remains of Hara Castle, where an event triggered the hiding of Japanese Christians. The villages of hidden Christians, where the religion was passed on. And Ouda Cathedral, which symbolized the end of concealment. Each of these locations tells the story of people who maintained Christian practices during the ban and eventually formed a unique religious system. During the Age of Exploration, Japan was a country on the eastern edge of the world from Europe's point of view. Buddhism and Shinto had been practiced there since the distant past. It meant a great deal to the Roman Catholic Church for Christianity to be proselytized in this country. Thus, in 1549, Francis Xavier brought Christianity to Japan. The Nagasaki region had major ports for foreign ships, and the Society of Jesus established a base. Christianity flourished, and a strong religious organization was formed. However, during the process of Japan's unification from the end of the 16th century onward, Christianity gradually became the target of national suppression. The Tokugawa shogunate succeeded in unifying the country, and in the 1610s banned Christianity in order to establish a feudal society. In 1637, during the ban, there was an incident that had a great impact on all of Japan. Over 20,000 people were besieged at Hara Castle during the Shimabara Amakusa rebellion. This was a peasant rebellion by those who suffered under the harsh rule of feudal lords, but nearly all of them were Christians secretly passing on the faith. After 4 months of fighting against the shogunate's forces, almost all of those under siege were killed, and the rebellion was suppressed. At the remains of Hara Castle, crucifixes and other devotional items were unearthed, showing that they continued to practice their beliefs during the ban on the religion. The rebellion shocked the shogunate, which caused them to strengthen the ban. Portuguese ships, which could have harbored missionaries, were prohibited from landing, and a total ban on maritime activities was established. In 1644, the last missionary was martyred. The remaining Christians were forced to practice their beliefs secretly on their own. In the 17th century, shortly after the implementation of the ban, there remained hidden Christians across all areas of the country. However, due to repeated suppression, only those in the Nagasaki region remained in the 18th century. Since the Nagasaki region once had ports and bases for missionaries, due to the direct guidance received, the strong religious organizations persisted even after the ban. On the surface, hidden Christians pretended to practice Buddhism and Shinto so their faith would not be revealed, but secretly they prayed, were baptized and had Christian funerals, all centered around their own religious leaders. While they continued such activities for generations and coexisted with the rest of Japanese society and religion, they nurtured their own unique religious traditions. The hidden Christians in Kasuga village in Hirado venerated a mountain and an island in a manner that overlaps with the pre-existing worship of nature. Mount Yasumandake had long been a sacred mountain, and the hidden Christians also regarded it as holy. Japanese Christians were executed on Naka-Enoshima Island during the 17th century. Later, hidden Christians venerated it as a sacred site and gathered holy water there. In Sakitsu village in Amakusa, they used commonplace objects in daily life and work, such as abalone shells, in place of Christian devotional items. Hidden Christians offered Christian prayers at Sakitsu's Suwa shrine. In Shitsu village in Sotome, hidden Christians secretly venerated images of the Virgin Mary and passed on the Catholic catechism and calendar transcribed in Japanese. In Ono village in Sotome, hidden Christians prayed to their own object of worship secretly enshrined at the Shinto shrines. At the end of the 18th century, people began to migrate to remote islands as part of a policy that aimed to settle the islands. This movement started in Sotome and spread through all of the Goto Islands. As a result, hidden Christian villages were established all over the Nagasaki region. They chose their destinations after considering how best to prevent trouble and live in harmony with the pre-existing society and its religions. Nozaki Island was a sacred Shinto ground. The hidden Christians who moved there formed new villages on a steep slope while outwardly practicing Shinto. Kashiragashima Island previously was once used for sick people and usually uninhabited. hidden Christians chose to move to this island to prevent trouble with the pre-existing communities. The hidden Christians who moved to Hisaka Island under the migration policy formed villages in undeveloped areas of the island while collaborating with Buddhist communities in fishing and farming activities. Kuroshima Island was once abandoned. With tacit permission of a Buddhist temple there, the hidden Christians who settled the island could venerate a statue of Kannon that resembled the Virgin Mary. In these villages, many hidden Christian sites still remain. The houses of their leaders, the community graveyards, places where they secretly prayed, demonstrated their relationship with Buddhist and Shinto communities. These sites show how they were able to nurture their unique religious traditions over the course of 2 centuries while coexisting with the conventional society and its religions. In the 19th century, pressure from Europe and America's advance in Asia began to be felt in Japan, and in the middle of the 19th century, Japan opened the country. On the foreign settlement in Nagasaki, French missionaries built Ouda Cathedral for their own use. At this site, an important event occurred that came to be called the Miracle of the Orient. The hidden Christians who had secretly maintained their beliefs visited Ouda Cathedral and confessed their faith in 2 centuries. The Roman Catholic Church received this news with great surprise and joy. After this event, the hidden Christian communities entered a new transitional phase of religious identities. Hidden Christians in the Nagasaki region quickly learned of the arrival of missionaries. Their leaders secretly visited the cathedral to receive teachings from missionaries. As a result, some were arrested and persecuted by government officials because they expressed their faith openly despite the ban on Christianity still in effect. Europe and the United States lodged many protests against this persecution, and in 1873, the ban on Christianity was finally abolished. Following the lifting of the ban, some hidden Christian villages officially rejoined the Catholic Church, while others continued their own religious system. Some villages converted to Buddhism or Shinto. In villages that returned to Catholicism, the houses of former hidden Christian leaders were used as temporary churches. Later, they built new churches in places with special significance, such as the location neighboring Shinto shrines, and at the site of a residence where they had been forced to trample on Christian icons during the ban. These churches are symbols of how the religious traditions changed and eventually ended after the discovery of hidden Christians. In particular, Egami Church on Naru Island is located in a valley surrounded by trees, and it uses distinctive designs to adapt to the topography and environment there. It's representative of the churches built by former hidden Christians in the Nagasaki region. The hidden Christian sites in the Nagasaki region help understand the efforts of hidden Christians during the ban on Christianity. The 12 components are each fully protected under Japanese law, and they are carefully maintained by people in the area. The hidden Christian sites in the Nagasaki region. This property is an exceptional heritage that tells the story of the religious traditions nurtured during 2 centuries under a harsh ban, coexisting with the conventional society and religions of Japan. It also bears witness to the history after the hidden Christians were discovered by foreign missionaries.